G'day everyone, I'm AzureBlaze, and quite soon, I say quite soon, literally the day after this video goes out, or a couple of days prior if people bought the Digital Deluxe Edition. Anyway, quite soon, the brand new game in the Sonic Racing series, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, is set to release. With this in mind, I decided to play through the adventure mode of the previous game in the series, Team Sonic Racing, and these are my thoughts on it. First off, as always, the music. Amazing. As almost always, SEGA knocks it out of the park, and the main theme, Green Light Ride, I think I prefer it to the new main theme for Cross Worlds. I can't say much more on the music because as always, I'm not very musically inclined. And then for the visuals, I think they look great. All the tracks are colourful and detailed, and that goes the same for the models in the cars. I really like the almost clay look for the pre-rendered models as well, which is a style I'd like to see again in the future. I think it would work really well if they would ever make another Sonic Shuffle, to be completely honest. I don't know. I like the look of it. I even really like the UI design in this game. It's fairly simple looking. However, it uses a sort of normal racing checkered pattern or a blueprint pattern for a lot of it. All the items and such have this simplified 2D technical drawing look to them, which keeps everything under the same easily distinguishable style, and I think it fits the game really well. I kind of really like it. It has like a good amount of personality. I really like it. Next up is the gameplay, and it plays like sort of any average kart racer. The player can accelerate to sort of go forward, drift around corners, throw items at others, trick, or in this case stunt in the air, and build up boosts either with drifts or stunts. However, the big feature of this game is the team mechanics. And right off the bat, I'd like to state that when this game came out, I was sort of able to play it under the best possible circumstances with Kananas, our younger brother, and myself all playing the game together, which it sort of helps to allow these mechanics to shine as best as they can. Therefore, sort of to note, I have a lot of bias surrounding these mechanics and this game. Yeah, please note that for how I go further on as this. That being said, the team mechanics work by teaming up 3 players and sort of having them work together to get the best overall score possible. The mechanics apply themselves in multiple different ways. Firstly, the leading racer for the team of 3 protrudes a yellow trail behind them. If other team members drive over the trail, they get a slight speed boost and build up boosts whilst on it. By leaving the trail, any built up boosts will be released by those players, and then they'll fly forward like you would normally have with a boost. Another thing is when a player spins out or slows down after getting hit by an item or something of the sort, on the other teammates' screens, a yellow circle will appear around the spun out or slowed down player. If a teammate drives next to and past them, it will give that player a boost as well, which helps them get back up and running from their slowdown. And the next thing is how the items, or in this case the wisps, work on a team. Collecting items work as normal, however a player can either offer an item or request an item from a teammate. If an item is already being held by the player when they receive it, like another one, it will go into their second item slot. The item is as well re-rolled when it's passed to another person, presumably to stop people from giving the higher places the most powerful items. That would be my guess to why they do that. All of the team mechanics reward the players by filling up a bar that appears behind the cars. When full, the team can unleash a team ultimate, which gives them a boost of speed that makes them invincible for a short period of time. And each member of the team activates their ultimate at the same time. The move will last a lot longer. It'll keep going. These mechanics are the main draw for the game. It is possible to play a normal solo racing mode, however it turns it more into a fun yet fairly basic kart racer. The team mechanics are the primary gimmick, and understandably, if people aren't interested in that or don't have others to play with, it can probably be a bit of a deal breaker. However, for me, I really like these mechanics, to be really honest. I would like to see them again. When playing with real groups of people, the strategizing and the chaos that ensues is super fun. And whilst the CPUs don't really work as well with the mechanics, when playing without real people at least, it kind of turns into a micromanaging game where the player has to make sure they're ahead whilst helping keeping the teammates and on track and then moving them up as well. I don't know, I find that fun as well. I'm personally a massive fan of how this game plays. However, as I said, I I did manage to play the game in its best light, and I can see why others may not find it as interesting. Moving on from that, however, the next thing I'd like to discuss is the customization options, because this game has a fairly good amount of stuff that can be changed. This includes the front of the car, the back of the car, the tires, the horn sound, and the colors. Whilst like the first three, the front, the back, and the tires directly impact the stats of the car, giving like different types of acceleration, boost, speed, da 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 da. The colors and the horn, they're simply aesthetic and normal customizations. The colors as well, specifically, I have lots of different materials and stuff to choose from as well, which is nice. The biggest problem with the customization is obtaining all the different pieces. During races, the player will obtain credits. They can spend these credits at a gacha machine style unlock system, which it's simply frustrating to have that sort of unlock system. It's completely random, and you can get different items to start the race with instead of parts sometimes, and then other times, like, I'm not sure, however I think you can get parts that repeat as well, which makes it even worse. Disregarding all that, however, the amount of customization is great in my opinion, and it is satisfying to create a cut exactly how the player wants it to be. The characters as well go into the stats type of thing. If you use a technique character like Tails or Silver, they can like drive over off-road and things like that a lot easier. If you use like power characters like Knuckles and Omega and all that, they can break through things. Speed characters have better boosts and speed and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. Next up is the part of the game that the races take place on, the tracks. And I'm a huge fan of the majority of them. However, I will admit that there could be another like 3 tracks or such, I guess, to add a little bit more variety. It does not help that much that there are a good number of tracks taken from previous games. And that combined with multiple tracks using similar themes to each other, it makes it feel as if it's lacking a little bit of differences. The tracks that are there, however, I feel are designed quite well, with plenty of turns, twists, split paths, and such. Anyone that sort of watched my Let's Play on the game will know that my favourite track is definitely Sky Road. The mixture of the visuals with the curved, windy, glass-looking road above Spagonia, and things like hot air balloons to stunt off and being launched through the sky at like high speed. I don't know, it makes the track super fun in my opinion. And then I guess the last thing I would like to discuss is the adventure mode. And there is an adventure mode in this game, hence why I played through it on the channel. And in my opinion, it is great. It is laid out as an assortment of like different missions and races on like a world map. And these are all split up into different chapters as well. These stages often have like smaller goals that can be achieved while playing through them. And finishing these goals rewards the player with stars and keys, which are used to unlock more stages. Some of the missions involve destroying Eggman's robots, collecting rings, or hitting targets. There's a lot of different things. And while I'm not saying they're like the most exciting thing, like they're not as exciting as like the normal races, I feel they are a good pace breaker. And when playing through like the mode, going from like races to this and that, I don't know, I think I do quite enjoy them. The adventure mode has a story as well that connects the package together. Whilst the cutscenes are not fully animated, instead using like visual novel character portraits emoting in different ways when needed, everything is voice acted, which is really nice. And to be honest, I at least personally feel that this game is like where the seeds were starting to be like planted or sown for the more modern Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations-esque writing. Like, whilst the younger tone from games previous to this is present, I feel the characters are more fleshed out and better used in this game than they are in other games from that era. Characters like Big, Vector, and even Omochao, who I've never been a big fan of, however, they do have a lot more to say in this game and are all present within the main narrative, especially Big. The best use of the characters are Blaze and Silver, in my opinion. They have a lot to say, especially Silver, who is like... He sort of played like a slightly anxious teenager type, and I don't know, I really like that. This game has sort of single-handedly made me appreciate Silver like much more as a character. I do really like that. The story itself is not really anything special, however. It mostly consists of the new character Dodonpa inviting everybody to a race, not telling him his intentions for some reason, I have no idea why, getting kidnapped by Eggman to make a powerful engine, and then he's saved by Sonic and Co. the end. Like, there's not much else to it. Well, there's not much, like, there. I do really appreciate its inclusion nonetheless, and it ties the adventure mode together to make, in my opinion, a fun extra mode that I'd like to see have sort of evolved in the future. I don't think it's going to happen, sadly. However, yeah, I think it'd be fun to see that sort of thing again. Ultimately, however, I really like this game, and whilst Crossworlds or future Sonic Racing games may end up surpassing it, at least for the time of this video, I feel I can confidently say that this is my favourite car racer. However, I believe those are at least my brief thoughts on the game overall. I could have done a whole, like, It's Important video on this if I had the time. Therefore, I believe that is all for me. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.
All right, now that we got that settled, let's get this race started. Yeah!